In this video, I'll show you how I was able to make this rear hydrofoil from a 3D printed compression mold. I wanted to make a new rear stabilizer for my Axis hydrofoil. I started by designing a wing in Onshape. I used reference photos for an Axis 320 by 48 surf stab. I used a template tool and measured the mount on the Axis fuselage, and then traced it onto a piece of paper and scanned it so I could import it into Onshape. It took me a few hours, but I was able to model a rear wing that I think will work well. It's got a little anhedral, and nothing about the wing is too aggressive. For the foil of the wing, I could have used airfoiltools.com and found something with a decent Reynolds number, but I didn't bother. But maybe for a front wing that I'm actually designing now, I will. The molds are a negative of the wing in two halves, split at the front and rear trailing edges. The molds fit diagonally on my bamboo H2D print bed, which was nice as I didn't need to make the molds in sections. Looking at the 3D printed parts, everything came out awesome. For a release agent, I used PVA. I thought about using wax, but I'd never tried PVA before, so I thought I would give it a try. I brushed on an even coat and let it dry for a few hours. It self-levels nicely too. I 3D printed a template so I could have some nice top and bottom pieces of fiberglass that will fit for the wing. This process is called forged carbon fiber. There's no actual forging going on, that's just what it's called if you want to look it up. The internal parts of the wing are going to be strips of fiberglass. I thought about using chopped fiberglass, mimicking the forged carbon fiber process, but in this case it was unnecessary since it's a long, flat wing I am molding. For the epoxy, I am using some really cheap stuff that is used for art or making tabletops. When I go to make an actual production wing, I will use my regular marine grade epoxies that I normally use, such as Resin Research, Greenlight Surf Supply, or Entropy resins. Here I'm just painting on the epoxy and then applying layers of fiberglass. It's a pretty easy process. I tried to avoid getting fiberglass on the outside of the wing shape, as that will cause the mold to not fully close later. For the amount of fiberglass, I calculated the volume of the wing, which was 60 milliliters, then multiplied that by 1.4, which gives 84 grams as the final weight of the wing. Then I took 60 multiplied by 0.6, or equivalent to 60%, which then gives me 36 grams of carbon fiber. But since I'm using fiberglass, I converted that to what the equivalent weight of fiberglass would be, which is around 52 grams. I got the formulas from the Easy Composites videos. For epoxy resin amounts, I just kept mixing up small batches until I had enough. Once I got the two molds filled with fiberglass and epoxy, I put the two halves together, and I had reference pins to make sure everything lined up nicely. Then I stuffed it into a bag and clamped it tightly between two blocks of wood. I took my time and came back every 5 minutes to tighten the clamps, giving time for the epoxy to squeeze out of the molds. This ensures everything is fully saturated. After 24 hours, I came back to take it all apart. Had a good amount of squish. The pins were a little bit harder to take out, so I took them out on the vise and punched them out. But I'm getting a good release once the pins are out.
It actually came out really good. Good release on the mold. Nothing's left stuck in there. The PVA worked great. Just gotta trim it, but it released completely out of the mold. And here's what the wing should look like. And I think it did a pretty good job.
I think I will sand the mold smooth to remove the 3D printed layer lines.
There we go. That fits beautifully. The only thing is, because I used fiberglass and a cheap resin, because this was a prototype, there is some bend in this, but overall, once I do this in carbon, it'll be excellent. So that's how you make a 3D printed mold and make your own rear stab.
The rear wing fit perfectly on the Axis fuselage. It actually looks really great. Next, I'm ready to make it from carbon fiber. This is a different mold for my AliExpress kite foil setup. I'm sanding smooth all the 3D printed layer lines. Then I spray paint it with some cheap automotive high build primer. After a few coats of primer, I wet sanded it until it was smooth, finishing with 1000 grit. Next, I applied a few coats of mold release wax. I did about 6 coats in total, which I'll come to find out later that it's still not enough. Here I'm repeating the same as before, except I'm using 200 grams per square meter 3K twill carbon fiber. I found last time the Layup still had some air bubbles in the laminate, so I'm degassing the epoxy after mixing. I didn't use PVA on this try, which was a small mistake, which you'll see why when I go to demold the wing. For the filler, I use mostly strips. Ideally, I would use some unidirectional carbon fiber that run tip to tip on a few layers to provide lots of stiffness along the horizontal axis. The core of the wing, I could use chopped toe carbon fiber, but I'm using some fiberglass just as filler, as I consider this also a test wing. So I mentioned before, either I needed more wax or I should have used PVA. Not a big deal, but just means more cleanup, and I need to repair the mold if I want to do another wing.
Okay, a little bit of the primer came off on it, but otherwise, came out really good.
I made 2 samples to test the stiffness between the fiberglass and carbon fiber for the same thickness in material, just to give you an idea. The fiberglass here flexes really easy when I bend it. Here is the carbon fiber, and it only bends a tiny bit. Here is the finished wing mounted.
There is like very little flex in this compared to the fiberglass. Huge difference using carbon fiber over fiberglass. Not bad for my first attempt at making a carbon fiber wing. Using PVA was a great idea.
I made another wing, but this time I took the extra steps to sand, prime, and apply PVA to the initial Axis wing mold first.
Okay, just got to clean this up, take off the PVA.
The result was a super smooth finish straight out of the mold. This wing is 100% carbon fiber too. It's everything I wanted, light and stiff. So I plan on making a full-size front wing and mast using this method in the future. At least that's the idea. When I first designed this rear stabilizer, I accidentally built in too much angle of attack, as I didn't adjust the angle after modeling the axis mount. When I tried it out for pump foiling, paired with my 1150 PNG, something felt off. It felt really draggy, hard to keep speed, hard to maintain glide, had to use way more front foot pressure to keep the nose down, which translated into terrible efficiency. So, eventually I started shimming the rear wing to reduce the angle of attack, and immediately the foil felt freer and easier to pump. Here's the shim that I ended up with. It's a significant amount that's pushing up the rear of the wing, but I wanted to know what was going on. So I sent the wing to AirShaper to run simulations on two versions of the exact same rear wing, one at the higher original angle of attack and one at the reduced angle that corresponds to my shimmed angle, if that makes sense. The results were actually pretty interesting. According to the simulation, going from the lower angle of attack to the higher one increased drag from 2.46 newtons to 3.16 newtons, which is about a 28% increase in drag. But here's the really surprising part. Lift force increased from 16.3 newtons to 45.3 newtons. That's a 178% increase. So the higher angle generated more lift force, but way too much force for what a rear stabilizer actually needs to do, especially for what I'm doing, low-speed pump foiling. And I asked them to model at 15 kilometers per hour, which is roughly around what I think I'm traveling at generally. The difference in angle between the two wings is only 3 degrees, but what a difference it makes. And here's the important distinction. On a pump foil, your front wing is doing the heavy lifting, no pun intended. The rear stab is mostly there to stabilize pitch. There are guys that are actually pumping with just the front wing and no rear stab at all. More rear wing force means more drag, but it also changes the trim of the entire foil setup. So you compensate with body position, the board angle changes, the front wing angle changes, and suddenly the whole system feels slower and stickier. At least that's what I kind of think is going on based on these findings. So, on the water, well, that's kind of what I noticed. The higher angle of attack version felt noticeably draggier when pump foiling. The reduced angle, or what I like to call the neutral angle, felt freer, easier to keep speed, and more efficient. These simulations just don't show numbers, they actually validate what I was feeling in the real world, so that's really cool. The takeaway from this is designing of hydrofoils is not trivial, so I'm just a backyard engineer. And it's kind of neat that I was able to actually get something to work, like, decently. The other takeaway is try shimming your rear stab to see how it changes the ride. You might be surprised. And if you want to check out AirShaper, I'll leave a link in the details box. They didn't sponsor me, but were nice enough to run and help me understand what was going on in the simulations. Alright, that's it for this video. See you in the next one.